Welcome to our V Cert Level 1-2 Technical Award Bitesize Introduction for the subject area of engineering. This webinar will guide you through the structure of the qualification, the exam and the non-exam assessments, and will provide an overview of the quality assurance process. There will also be a summary of the teaching and learning materials and other resources we have available to support your delivery. Lastly, it will provide details of the provider development team if further support is required or if you have any other questions. Firstly, there will be an overview of the qualification. This is the qualification structure for engineering. The guided learning hours are 142 and includes 120 hours for delivery, 18 hours for the NEA, plus 2 hours preparation and research time, and 1 hour 30 minutes for the EA. The TQT is 156 hours, and this includes homework, and you might set and/or independent learning. The NEA has a 60% weighting, and the EA has a 40% weighting. The content assessed in the EA and the NEA will be sampled from across the full breadth of the qualification. The overall qualification grades are a Level 1 pass up to a distinction, and for a Level 2, a pass up to a distinction star. This slide shows a typical 2-year delivery model. This is only a suggestion and it will help illustrate the new structure so you can visualize how it is going to work for you. It essentially follows very similar structure to that of a GCSE. In the first year is for delivery, where there are no summative assessments, and the second year is the assessment year. It has been designed this way to allow the first year of delivery to be focused entirely on teaching the content of the qualification. This really allows you to focus on ensuring the learners are building up knowledge and skills and gives you as much time as possible to teach the qualification content so that your learners are ready for their assessments. All technical awards now have a terminal assessment rule as stipulated by Ofqual and the DFE. This means that the external examinations must be taken at the end of qualification. After the non-exam assessment, i.e. the synoptic project has been completed. We will be releasing the NEA briefs on the 1st of September each year. It can also be administered from September 2 if all content has been taught. We think all content could be comfortably delivered by December, ready to start the NEA in January, but some schools may get through everything sooner. The final marks will need to be submitted to the portal by the 30th of April each year, in which the learner evidence will be moderated. It can be delivered over 3 years, as some centres may want to start delivering it in Year 9, although we do recommend a 2-year delivery model so that it coincides with GCSE. There is one unit that contains 9 content areas for engineering. The specification includes the indicative content and the teaching guidance that will help support your delivery. Formative assessment can help you track your learners' progress in the first year of studying this qualification. Keeping a record of each formative assessment results will allow you to monitor your learners' ongoing progress, predict a final grade, and identify if any further interventions are required. There are various sources of data for performance indicators, such as end-of-year topic tests, discussions with learners to assess their depth and breadth of knowledge of the subject content, homework and independent study tasks, engagement with practical activities, and outcomes from practical tasks. Performance at Key Stage 3, teacher observations during practical tasks using the NEA practical assessment criteria. There are also many resources such as learner roundups in the teaching materials, sample assessment materials, and the prepare to teach activities that are available on our website to further support your formative assessment. Other performance indicators can include mark schemes with mark ranges. It's worth noting that the range of marks in the mark scheme Could also be a performance indicator, for example, as a guide. 7 to 12 marks would be a distinction strong level 2 merit. 4 to 6 marks would be a merit strong level 2 pass, and 0 to 3 marks would be in the level 1 range. Another useful way to track your learner's progress is to use an overall grading descriptors in the specification. In our Year 1 Prep to Teach session, we go through this in a little more detail about formative assessment, and this is on the screen now, and you can see a range of methods. Take a few moments to consider, which do you use? Do you use a wide range of activities? Do your learners get assessment fatigue? Thinking more broadly, could you develop your practice to make things easier for you or better for your learners? I know I have my favourite methods as a teacher, but that I need to be mindful that all learners are different and respond differently. So making things fun, diversifying the approaches, and reviewing the impact and the success of my approach is really important.
There will now be some more detail about the non-exam assessment, including the sample assessment material that we have available. The NEA is a practical project that your learners undertake under controlled and supervised conditions. It has a set number of tasks that are to be completed in 18 hours plus 2 hours preparation and research time. The NEA is externally set by NCFE, and there will only be one attempt at the NEA per session, so there is no resubmission opportunity. For engineering, the NEA is 60% of the technical award and has a total of 120 marks. A different NEA brief will be released every September, and it will target assessment objectives AO1, AO2, AO3, AO4, and AO5. This slide shows a summary of the NEA tasks for engineering, including the marks to be awarded for each section. The key point to note here is that when you are considering the learner journey and sequencing the curriculum, the content areas need to be continually linked to the NEA and its tasks. It is also worth considering how your learner journey also links to the external assessment too. Subject-specific tutor guidance has been produced to support the delivery of the Level 1-2 technical awards for both the EA and the NEA. It is not intended to replace the specification documents, but should be used in conjunction with them to support the successful delivery and completion of the qualification and assessments. You'll find this document in the support materials section of the qualification page on our website. The NEA will be electronically available on the 1st of September in the year of certification, and the final NEA marks are to be submitted to the portal by the 30th of April. All teaching must be complete prior to accessing the assessment, and the learner must be booked onto the NEA associated with the year of completion. Prior to commencing the formal set hours for the NEA time, learners should be allocated 2 hours of preparation and research time. During this time, learners may have access to the project brief, but may not access the NEA tasks. This 2-hour time period is entirely open book, where learners can access their teaching and learning materials, textbooks, the internet, and other published materials. From this, they should develop a research support pack, which can be used as their source of information when completing the NEA. This is the only support material that is permitted during the completion of the NEA tasks, obviously unless otherwise stated within each task instructions within the tutor guidance, and must be submitted to the tutor at the end of each session and kept secure. The material developed in the planning, preparation and research time does not have to be submitted as assessment evidence. And lastly, the research pack should be no more than 4 sides of A4 in font size 12 if it is being completed electronically, but it also can be handwritten. Some tasks within the NEA do permit the use of internet access to support the completion of the task. Learners will be required to submit a copy of their internet browsing history to ensure that controls around the internet use are adhered to. Where the NEA allows for research requiring the use of the internet, learners must reference the sources within their work, and learners must cite sources of information within their NEA. There is a useful table in section 8 in the tutor guidance that will show you if the use of the internet is permitted and if the internet browsing history is required. As I've said, there is a specific guidance within the tutor guidance for each task within the NEA. The inclusion of these tasks is to illustrate the proposed structure and timings, required resources, in addition to the pack that's developed within the preparation and research time, and any additional requirements around the delivery or controls of the assessment. Within the regulations for the conduct of the NEA section, instructions are provided on the correct administration of the NEA. NEA tasks must be issued one at a time and in the correct sequence to appropriately meet the requirements of the task in terms of resources and organisation of the learning environment. All learners should start each task at the same time to promote fairness and prevent unfair learner advantage and aid centre manageability. Learners can rework their evidence at any point during the supervised sessions, but supervisors must not give any feedback to a learner on how a task can be improved. Learners' work must not be assessed, marked, or internally quality assured during supervised sessions. And learners will have one opportunity to sit the NEA each session. Therefore, if a learner does not achieve, they will need to be re-registered to sit the NEA and the EA for the next series. Centres will be provided with training opportunities for how to administer and assess the NEA, including the application of mark schemes. They will provide valuable information to support you and to understand our mark schemes, supporting you to run your own standardisation sessions prior to the assessment window opening. These events are a great opportunity to expand your knowledge and understanding of the V Cert Technical Awards and are suitable for both assessors and IQAs delivering on these qualifications. Attendance to these sessions will be also checked as part of your annual monitoring review, or AMR. The V Cert administration training will cover the administrative activities required to deliver and assess our technical awards and will include key dates, the completion of the assessment paperwork, your roles and responsibilities, and what you can expect from NCFE. And lastly, the V Cert Prepare to Assess training will help develop your understanding of the grading criteria when assessing your learners' responses to the internally assessed units and will provide valuable information to help you understand our mark schemes. There are sample assessment materials available for the NEA, and these are for you to use as practice projects, and you can fit these in whenever it works best for you, be that the summer of year 10, January of year 11, just whenever you feel it is the most beneficial for you and your learners. There is also a sample mark scheme to go with the sample paper. And these sample assessment materials, including the mark schemes, are available for you to access on the NCFE website on the V Cert page. NEA example responses are also available to download from the assessment materials section, again on the qualification page on our website. They will not be differentiated by level within this new Model 5, as they are not determined until the marks are combined for the NEA and the EA and the overall marks are added together. There is a top band 4 and a band 2 level response for each qualification in the exemplar NEAs. The example on this slide is a band 2 NEA response. And on this slide, this is a top band 4 NEA response example. And again, these are available for you to access in the assessment materials section on the V Cert qualification page.
There will now be more detail about the exam assessment, including the sample assessment materials that are also available. To summarise, the exam assessment, or the EA, is 40% of the technical award for engineering. It is a written examination that is externally set by NCFE. Learners have 1 hour and 30 minutes to complete it, and it is graded out of 80 marks. There is a mixture of multiple choice, short answer, and extended response questions, and it targets assessment objectives AO1, AO2, and AO3. The examination date is May-June every year, and there is only one attempt at the exam, and the bookings for the EA is upon a registration. Please refer to the external assessment timetable on our website for the confirmation of the exact EA dates, which will be published a year in advance of the actual EA. Surpass is our online assessment system that allows centres to deliver external assessments securely on screen. The technical requirements that must be met to run the online assessment systems are outlined in our technical specification document. You need to complete the registration form and a member of CST will contact you. Once you've been approved, there are various support guides aimed to supporting members of staff involved with the different stages of the assessment process. For more information, please visit ncfe.org.uk Qualifications Centre Assessment Support Online. There are three main types of question on the external assessment, and where possible, they have been set within context of the subject with real-world case studies. The first type of question is multiple choice and are usually worth 1 mark. Multiple choice questions cover assessment objective 1. The second type of question is a short answer, and they are usually around 2 to 4 marks. The third type of question is extended response questions, and these are usually worth 6 marks or more. To support effective teaching and learning, the table in the tutor guidance document provides centres with command words used for the EA. It illustrates the range of command words, associated assessment objectives, and their intended use. It is intended to support centres with creating assessment tools. Please note that these cover the full range of the Level 1-2 Technical Award qualifications, and some may be more appropriate for certain subject areas, and you'll find this document in the support materials section of the qualification page on the website. There are also sample assessment materials available for the EA, and again, these are for you to use as mocks and can fit these in wherever works best for you. It consists of learner instructions, information and details, and the questions which are divided up into sections with the marks to be awarded for each question. The mark scheme is also available. It will consist of marking guidelines, the AOs, and the answers including which assessment objective the question refers to, and the marks to be awarded. This is replicated for all questions in each section. For the higher mark questions, the mark scheme details the level, the marks that can be awarded, the descriptor for each AO, and the indicative content to be included for the learner's answer. The last page contains an assessment objective grid for each section. Sample assessment materials, including mark schemes, will be available for you to access on the NCFE webpage on the V Cert page.
Over the next few slides, we'll now provide a brief overview of the quality assurance process and then provide some information in relation to moderation. The assessor will assess and mark all the learner evidence for the NEA in line with the mark schemes provided by NCFE. The assessor will also complete the learner feedback form, which is available in your assessment pack, and this will be released within the NEA brief on the 1st of September. As the NEA is moderated, the centre's IQA efforts need to be focused on upfront standardisation, and centres need to apply their own IQA policy or process based on the outcome of the standardisation activities that they complete to satisfy your own internal quality assurance. Standardisation will ensure assessors' judgments are in line with the qualification specification and grading criteria. In line with JCQ guidance, centres should inform learners of the centre assessed marks before marks are submitted to NCFE to allow for any internal centre appeals. Centres should make it clear, however, to learners that any centre assessed marks are subject to change through the moderation process. Once the centre has submitted the marks to the portal, learners will be then selected for sampling and their evidence will be reviewed by a moderator. Moderation will take place remotely and feedback will be provided on results day in a final moderation report that can be accessed on the portal. All centres with active registrations will have an annual monitoring review to review your policies and procedures, and your quality reviewer will contact you to suggest a date and time to conduct the AMR. No portfolios will be sampled during this review, and the quality reviewer will not provide any subject-specific guidance. For further support, do visit our annual monitoring review page on our website and view the user guide to the annual monitoring report. And if you do have any further queries about quality assurance, then please do contact the external quality assurance team. You will be asked to submit marks for each learner on the portal, and we will use these marks to select learners to be sampled based on the JCQ sampling strategy. A sample will be requested based on stage 3, and you will be able to view learners selected for sampling on the portal. Learners selected for sampling will be visible on the portal the day after the window closes. And centres will then be required to view the sampling plan on the portal and upload learner evidence for the sampled learners within 48 hours. Guidance on how to do this can be found in the portal user guide. During moderation, the moderator will then assess the sample. Following the moderation process and the outcome of our quality checks, one of the 3 following marks will be applied to your cohort. The provider mark will confirm that the provider mark has been accepted. The regress mark will confirm that a regress mark has been accepted, and the moderator mark will confirm that the moderator mark has been accepted. You will then receive a moderation report to explain the outcome of the moderation activity, along with the areas performed well and the areas for development. For further information and guidance, again, please do refer to preparing for a moderation review on our website.
The next slides will give you details of the resources and support that will be available to you and your centres. Visit ncfe.org.uk to find everything you need to know about onboarding, quality assurance, using the portal, moderation and the assessment, certificates, training events, forms, support visits and much more. You'll also find a dedicated area to support the delivery of essential digital skills, functional skills, T-levels as well as V Certs, including curriculum support and assessment resources. If you're involved in the teaching assessment and quality assurance, these pages will be most useful. The V Cert page, delivery support, assessment support, customer and learning support, preparing for quality assurance. On our NCFE website within the V Cert page, you'll find the information about why to choose V Certs and the 14 to 16 schools brochure that contains information about Key Stage 4 vocational education and how to learn more about our V Cert qualifications. They could also be used as option evenings to help learners make informed decisions about which qualification to take, what the progression opportunities are, and the career prospects. You'll also find the link to each subject-specific page that contains the information such as specification, sample assessment materials, and the teaching materials. We also have our parent, supporter, and pupil V Cert information hub, where the resources are aimed at helping parents and learners make informed decisions around V Certs, including a parent guide, what learners think about V Certs, and the subject guides. On both pages, you can also use a Get in Touch function where you can request more information on subjects you're interested in. There is also the opportunity to tick the Marketing Communications box to receive updates on our qualification events and news relevant to you via email, on the phone or through social media channels. You can use our Search Our Qualifications function by adding your subject area or qualification code, or you can select V Certs in the Features box. Always ensure that you have the correct page by checking the qualification accreditation number. This is the page for engineering. If you scroll down, you will see some brief information about the qualification, including the career opportunities and the performance table details. And if you scroll further down, you will see the Support Materials tab where you'll find the qualification specification, the synoptic connections document, and the tutor guidance document. In the Assessment Materials tab, you will find the sample assessment materials that are available for the NEA and the EA. And lastly, the teaching materials will also be available to download here too. If you don't have a login, it would be useful for your exams officer who can help. You can also refer to the portal user guide on our website for further support. There are classroom packs containing ready-to-go teaching and learning materials with everything you need to deliver the V Cert effectively. The classroom packs will be in digital editable format and they will be free to download. There will be schemes of work which completely outline entire units of work based on 1-hour lessons for each of the content areas. You will have complete PowerPoint presentations covering the teaching content from the specification and includes teaching activities that could be used for your learners. There will be comprehensive workbooks to complement the scheme of work, which will contain classroom-based activities and learner roundups to recap and assess learning, as well as independent study tasks that can be used as homework or flipped learning opportunities, whatever you decide. All these resources, it is the best that you use them and adjust them to suit your learners. Using actual assessment material is a good way to make revision effective. And as we've already mentioned, there is also sample assessment materials that are available for the EA and the NEA for you to access on our website.
On our website, you'll find everything you need to support you with assessment. In the Access Arrangements and Reasonable Adjustments section, you'll find information about paper modifications and ways that fair assessment can be achieved and the associated policies. In Special Considerations, you'll find the Special Consideration Policy, the definition, the timescales, and how to submit a request for external and internal assessment. Before booking an external assessment, please do refer to our external assessment timetable for booking cut-off dates, assessment dates and times, and results release dates. For our V Cert qualifications, you are required to make a booking for the external assessment at the time of registration, and you will be prompted to select an external assessment date before completing the registration in the portal. For the external assessment, there is a document called the Regulation for the Conduct of External Assessment. And for the internal non-exam assessment, there is the tutor guidance document, which includes detail about administering each NEA task and the NEA regulations. And lastly, there is also a qualification specific instructions for delivery document, or QSID, and this gives specific information for the different qualifications. So, for example, if the assessment needs to be invigilated or supervised. There is also a V Cert frequently asked questions section on our website where you can use the categories to find the relevant answer to your question or questions. If you have a question that isn't covered, you can always use our live chat feature or contact the customer support team using the contact details on this slide. On the V Cert delivery support page, you will see that we offer a range of delivery support events for V Certs, from networking to preparing to teach and standardization. There is also a V Cert playlist on our YouTube channel, and there are numerous webinars, CPD sessions and training events which you can access on demand. Other support that is available includes our external quality assurance team, who can be contacted in relation to anything about quality assurance. And of course, our wonderful customer support team, who can help and support with first-line inquiries, registration queries, and bookings on the portal, for example. It's also be useful to know that there is a revision guide that is available to order. So NCFE do endorse HODA, and this revision guide can be viewed on the website. But if you do require more information, please do visit their website at www.hoddereducation.co.uk. The provider development team supports staff to ensure that you're prepared to teach qualification and are clear on the requirements for the delivery and assessment of the qualification. We can provide tailored interventions to meet the individual needs of your centre, as well as offering a range of other services such as monthly webinars, training sessions and workshops, as well as consultations if required. If you do have any other questions or require further support, you can contact us directly at provider.development@ncfe.org.uk, and your question or query will be directed to a subject specialist within the team, or you can request a support call via our website. That is the end of this bite-sized webinar. We do hope that you found it useful. If you'd like to help us make any future improvements and/or changes to the service and support that we provide, please do let us know, again, at provider.development@ncfe.org.uk. Thank you for listening, and on behalf of everyone here at NCFE, we wish you a continued successful year.